What's going on YouTube? One of the hottest segments in America is the family 3-row SUV, which has been exploding with new and highly competitive products for the past few years. One of those newer products is the Hyundai Palisade, which has been making waves. But one of the nameplates that's been around for a long time is the Honda Pilot, which was also just fully redesigned. So, should you choose the reliable veteran 3-row or the flashier newcomer? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Like always, let's quickly dive into the pricing of these two family SUVs to start. Beginning with the value-packed Palisade. This is the fully loaded calligraphy trim level with the new night edition for 2024. All told, we're setting a touch over 55 grand when you check off every box. While Hondas typically ring in more expensive than an equivalent Hyundai, this fully loaded Pilot Elite trim level actually stickers in about $1,000 less than the Palisade, at $54,310. Honda should eventually bring back the Black Edition model at the tip-top of the lineup, but for now, it's only offered in Canada. By the way, if you want to get the best price from local dealerships and access to invoice pricing info for these two models or any vehicle, we have a tool on our website to do just that. Check the link in the description for more information. Now, as far as this comparison, it will be conducted objectively. We have done our best to weigh the points awarded throughout in major and minor categories, but at the end of the comparison, we will sum up with our thoughts and revisit the small price difference for a value assessment. Let's get into it. So starting out with the exterior, these two family haulers definitely have a little more spice than the average SUV. The Pilot was completely redesigned last year, giving it a squared off and boxy shape Americans love. And the Palisade also has a boxier grille after its heavy refresh last year as well. Like I already mentioned, new for 2024, Hyundai added this blacked out night edition for a stealthy look. And moving over to the lighting, they both have LED arrangements. They are not created equal though, since the Palisade features a higher end projector LED setup compared to the Pilot's reflector LEDs. But only the Pilot is including LED fog lamps. Moving on to the sides, you'll notice that these two are certainly not small SUVs. They are nearly 200 inches long, and as you might expect, this translates to a lot of interior space, which we'll explore shortly. Until then, for the wheels, they're both rocking stylish and large 20-inch options with completely different finishes. Around back, both have handsome designs, and as far as features are concerned, they are similar. Both have exposed exhaust, exposed rear wipers, and LED brake lights. The Palisade adds an LED turn signal to the mix, although neither of them have LED reverse lighting. Now it's time for some individual features, and the first place we're stopping is the mirrors. Both mirrors are loaded to the gills with features, like auto dimming. However, the Palisade is missing power fold that the Pilot has. Now, in addition to the blind spot monitoring systems built into the mirrors, both Hyundai and Honda give you their entire suites of active safety systems as standard equipment. One cool Hyundai advantage is the smart parking system, which can pull into and out of tight parking spots unmanned. When it comes to warranties, this is another area where the Hyundai shines. The Palisade includes a longer basic warranty and powertrain warranty, plus it gives you an additional year of complimentary maintenance. For those of you who like to tow, both the Pilot and Palisade are rated to handle 5,000 pounds. But we all know the interiors are the most important part about family SUVs, so let's check that out. But first,
if you're new here, we're brothers, and we've been reviewing cars since we were 12
and 16. We may be young, but we love cars.
And we'd love for you to subscribe to be a part of our Car Confections family. Let's learn a lot, have some fun with all the latest cars.
So walking up to the vehicles, both models have smart entry systems and remote start built into the fobs. However, only the Hyundai has phone as key ability. And wow, once you open up the doors, you'll begin to see why these top trim levels demand an over $50,000 price tag. Both are finished with top-notch materials, loads of technology, and if the badges were covered up, don't seem like mainstream SUVs. But one of the nicest pieces inside the cabins are the seats. The Pilot has upscale real leather with piping, and the Night edition of the Palisade actually substitutes out the normal calligraphy Nappa leather for a suede insert instead. Moving past that, both seats are heated, ventilated, and have memory functions. However, the Palisade goes a bit further, with 14-way power adjustment instead of 10 on the Pilot, and it even includes power massage. Now once fully inside the cabins, you can begin to take in how nicely appointed they are. One does shine a bit brighter than the other when it comes to material quality, however, and that's the Hyundai. Honda took a more pragmatic approach to the interior, while the Palisade went the extra mile when it comes to luxury. It uses quilted leather on the door trims, metal speaker grills, leather on the center tunnel, and even a bougie suede headliner. This makes it feel closer to the Acura MDX. After startup, you'll see two fully digital gauge clusters. The Palisade is going to be about 20% larger though, at 12.3 inches instead of 10 inches on the Pilot. And it also includes a cool blind spot camera system, a technology that Honda actually pioneered but has since abandoned. If you don't want to look at the gauges, both have large and functional head-up displays. In pushing back, cold hands are a thing of the past with heated, leather-wrapped steering wheels and rain-sensing wipers. Now one of the most important aspects of a family three-row is the storage, and both models shine here. For our Car Confections donut test, both models fit well over a dozen donuts, which is a pass. And while the Pilot center console is larger, Palisade has another bin that can be used for both cup holders and storage in front of that. The back and forth continues with pass-through storage under the console in the Palisade and a useful passenger storage shelf in the Honda. One of the reasons they're able to give so much storage is because of their electronic shifters. Operation is very similar, and once in reverse, you'll find 360-degree camera systems for these top models. Climate controls are done the traditional way with physical buttons for their 3-zone automatic setups. And now that takes us to the nearby volume knobs. The Pilot Elite uses the upgraded Bose audio system, and the Hyundai is a Harman Kardon system, so let's take a sample of both. Overall, the Palisade system has the richer and more balanced sound quality. And now that gets us into the infotainment systems and displays. This is one area where the Honda has gotten some criticism for the new generation, with its 9-inch display instead of the 12-inch one in the new Accord. If it had that larger option, then the Hyundai wouldn't have the 30% screen real estate advantage that it does. But the Palisade is lacking a big feature that many owners are looking for. While it does have wired Android Auto and Apple CarPlay functionality, only the Pilot has wireless ability. As far as other features, both have integrated navigation systems and passenger intercom systems. And then past that, we have auto-dimming rearview mirrors with HomeLink garage door openers. Only the Palisade is also a smart camera mirror. And while both of them feature large moonroofs, only the Pilot has the more expansive single-piece pan-out roof. Alright, now it's time to dig into the equally important rear seats and cargo areas. Starting with the second row measurements, both are impressively spacious. The Palisade doesn't have enough of an advantage to score a point, with about 4% more legroom, and they have identical headroom figures. But it's not all about space. Your family is going to want some features in the rear, and indeed these two deliver and have advantages over one another. Starting with the similarities, both have sunshades, rear climate controls, 2 charging USB ports, heated rear seats, and a household power outlet. Now on to the differences. The Palisade Calligraphy is one of the only mainstream vehicles to have ventilated second row seats. And the Pilot has a cool center seat that allows for on-demand 7 or 8 passenger seating, fold-down center console, and can even be stowed under the floor in the cargo area. Most competitors, including Palisade, don't offer 8 passenger seating on top trims. Moving on to the third row seats, they make it quite easy to enter with one-press folding and sliding mechanisms. These two are some of the best offerings in the class for third row space, and their leg and headroom figures are within 5% of each other. Thigh support is also excellent for children and smaller adults. Once inside, they have good amenities with USB ports and vents on both. However, as you might realize by now, the Palisade goes above and beyond when it comes to luxury, and is including heated third row seats, a class exclusive feature. Now it's time to head into the cargo areas and see how much stuff you can bring along with all the people. Once again, these two excel and are two of the biggest options you can get. They have cargo figures that closely mirror each other, including at the maximum capacity, although the Pilot does have a 5.7% advantage with the second row seats. The Hyundai fights back though with a power folding third row, something not currently offered on the Pilot. Alrighty, that's it for the interiors, but now let's take this fight to the streets. In this segment, it's becoming increasingly common to use turbocharged 4-cylinder engines under the hood. However, once you start talking about the powertrains of these two, you'll realize that they're more classic in this regard. Both are using naturally aspirated V6 engines with nearly identical power figures. As you might expect, that means accelerations between these two are nearly identical, and they have smooth, refined V6 growls. Now, of course, we're going uphill, but power is pretty plentiful from this 3.8 liter V6 engine. Now, of course, as you'd expect, adding some black elements to the exterior doesn't make this faster when it has the same engine, of course. So you still have the 291 horsepower on board. Alright, 60 miles an hour.
Not bad at all.
Not bad at all. Now, you heard us mention it at the spec dump, and honestly, I think this is one of the things that is standing out more and more about this Honda Pilot compared to the competition. That's having that traditional V6 powertrain. I know a lot of you guys really like that and look for that, and it is your only option. Moving past that, they have smooth and nice responding transmissions, 8 and 10 speeds in the Palisade and Pilot respectively. Additionally, for these top models, all-wheel drive is standard equipment. As far as your other elements of the powertrain, you do have an 8-speed automatic transmission, nice and smooth, just like all the other times we've sampled the Palisade model. One thing to note that's different about the Calligraphy Night Edition is that it's all-wheel drive exclusive, so you can choose front-wheel drive like you can on all the rest of the trim levels. Now, as far as the other element of the powertrain, we've got a 10-speed automatic transmission. This is a good transmission. They've done a great job with this. Overall, it's nice and responsive. It has a lot of gears, but it can also downshift a lot of gears at once, which is a good feature of it. While not a focus, I do want to point out that these two drive smaller than they actually are, especially the Pilot, since its steering is quite accurate feeling like the typical Honda. What is a focus in this segment is ride quality. Outside of 6-figure luxury SUVs, the ride quality is really unmatched, And these two will certainly be models you can take on multi-hour road trips with no exhaustion whatsoever. We say that from experience since we did actually take both of them on long road trips.
Now, I do also want to talk about your ride quality for this model, because this Calligraphy Palisade is just a really great riding vehicle. We've actually sampled one out, not the night edition, but we sampled out a Calligraphy for a full week, and we were just continuously impressed with the ride quality. This vehicle truly rides like a luxury SUV would. You hit a bump, it does a great job of soaking it up, and may I add, these seats are very comfortable for the Calligraphy model. For the past 7 days, we've been driving this vehicle to give you those extensive impressions, and ride quality is exactly how I remember it being back in Arizona. So comfortable when you go over a bridge, just like what we just did. I mean, it takes out all the harshness and really does a fantastic job of soaking it up. Like Drew said earlier, this does feel very accurate MDX, and it does as well in the ride quality, which is certainly a good thing. This is a fantastic riding vehicle.
But one big element of a nice road trip car is to have serene environments free of loud noises. So let's talk about that. Here at Car Confections, we always measure the decibel sound level readings of all the vehicles we test. And these two both scored luxury-like ratings of 55 at 55 miles per hour.
And while we're going 55 miles an hour, I do want to just go ahead and dive into our signature sound level reading for this Calligraphy Night Edition. Now, we went ahead and put the fan speed on 1. We're sitting at 56.4 decibels as our official sound level reading, going 55 miles per hour. Official Car Confections sound level reading, 55.4 decibels.
And finally, for fuel economy, both are rocking the same 21 mpg combined for their all-wheel drive forms. While there is no difference in the EPA ratings, our observed fuel economy over a week of testing indicate that the Palisade performs better in the real world by about 2 mpg. Neither of them offer hybrid or plug-in hybrid variants at this time. Before we wrap up here, we will circle back to value as promised. Because the Palisade was the more expensive of these two, we are going to award a half point per $1,000 of difference to the Pilot, or a half point total. But as always, I'll remind you, of course, if money doesn't matter as much to you, then feel free to disregard this point. Well, that's it for another 3-row family SUV smackdown comparison. The Hyundai Palisade is hard to beat when it comes to the sheer amount of features and luxury they can pack in for the price. But the Pilot's practicality is a lethal weapon in the segment as well.
Now, reasons why you might pick the Palisade as your personal winner would be because it does have the most luxurious cabin in the segment. If you get that Calligraphy trim level, the quilted Napa leather seats, the suede headliner, it just has luxury galore. You really feel like you're in a luxury SUV. Now, it also has really impressive third row features such as heated third row seats and the power folding ability and the power reclining. So those are things that you will greatly benefit from if you use the third row all the time. Additionally, it does have some technology advances over the Honda Pilot as well.
Right, and when you're looking at if your winner should be the Honda Pilot, well, one of the things, of course, that you probably want to consider is that assurance of the Honda badge, that long-term reliability. Obviously, it is an all-new model, so we don't have any reliability data right now, but a lot of you guys are going to be trusting that Honda badge. Also, you have the versatility of choosing 7 or 8 passenger seating on the fully loaded Elite model, which is nice, and you also have power folding mirrors.
But guys, we want to know which one of these two heavyweights you're taking in the comments down below. This is a hotly contested segment, and we want to know your all's thoughts, so be sure to leave that comment. Additionally, we want to remind you, if you're looking to buy either the Honda Pilot or the Hyundai Palisade, to go to carconfections.com/newcarquotes. By going to our website, we have a tool that will connect you with local dealers in your area to get you the best price on your new vehicle. Additionally, it's going to give you access to invoice pricing information, which is a great tool for dealer negotiation. If you'd like to take advantage of that, a link is provided in our video description. Now, if you haven't hit that subscribe button down below and become a part of our family, we would really appreciate it if you did that. And if you're already a part of our family, thank you so much for your continued support. We'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.